office. Oh, my God. It's making me so mad I'm choking up. Welcome to Bell the Birdmen, everybody. It is indeed March 24th. I'm John Barchett. That is Vince Quinn laughing. Taylor Cordatis behind the wonderful glass of probably one of two of the last time that we will be recording in these studios. Big announcement coming 3/28/22. We're all having a baby together. That's the announcement.
Pretty amazing.
We are going to name it live at noon East. No, I don't know. No,
I'm rooting for Kelsey.
We're going to have a big announcement, much like
Derek Barnett Jr.
Yes, Derek Barnett Jr.
Taylor's favorite player
is who is going to be our baby name, no matter when we find that or figure it out. Vince Quinn, Derek Barnett, 2-year deal. I say it's March 24th because I feel like that's like everyone's favorite phrase is just to add the date and the month and then just be like, relax, guys. It's just free agency, and it's March 24th. Well, now it's going to be March 25th. There's no details to what this contract is going to be, so that means it's shitty and team-friendly. That's the only silver lining I see out of this. But Derek Barnett, back with the Philadelphia Eagles. What are they doing, Vince Quinn? Am I supposed to be happy? Is this a smart signing here?
It's not a smart signing. It's an obvious signing, though.
It's fun.
It's not.
This is obvious?
Taylor's all in the chaos element. He just loves this. He's soaking in the
I'm
Derek
all
Barnett
entertainment value.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's all it is.
Does he bring it?
But I can't it was this was gonna happen, right? And it's funny because you mentioned all the March 24th stuff, and like I was that guy 2 shows ago when we sat down and we talked, and I'm like, John, relax, everything's fine. And
it's just cool.
Well, there were still players left then. You know, there were still some players left at that point.
Yeah,
there's nobody left at this point. It's over. All of the movement is pretty much over at this point. Like, people are so dead. It's gotten so sad and so desperate that everybody's like, oh, my God, Devontae Parker. Are we like, we can talk about him later.
Oh, no,
frankly,
we're definitely talking about him later.
I don't care that much about, like, I've got some things to say. But, like,
right.
it's one of those things where they have no defense. They still, I mean, it'd be nice to sign someone in the secondary because you don't have a second corner right now.
You mean Hassan Reddick can't cover? That's weird.
Well, he can't play corner. That's for sure.
Can't play
he doesn't like playing linebacker.
What?
But whatever. Your hatred kills me. So he's going to be great. He's wearing number 7, by the way.
That's a good number choice.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic number choice.
I do like that. It's going to be fun to have a defensive end that's wearing that kind of number. I do dig that. But yeah, it's one of those things when you don't have other people around and you just got to get depth. You're going to take a guy because look, nobody wants to move. I just moved. It sucks. We're going to move the studio. It sucks. No one wants to move. You can stay at the same team. You know everybody. You know the coaches. You know what your role is there. You know where to eat on a Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to leave.
Right.
So for Derek Barnett to come back because the Eagles look around, they're like, what are we going to
why do the Eagles want Derek Barnett back?
There's nothing else to do. He's a backup defensive end at this point. As a backup defensive end, he's fine. He's fine. Nobody loves him. I'm not. But is he a? Yes. Taylor's the one guy that loves Derek Barnett. But outside of that, I mean, he's a backup defensive end. He's okay. He's an okay player.
I guess. Yeah. Like it's fine, and I'm just supposed to calm down because it's just Derek Barnett, and in the open market, this is a good deal. Is that what this ends up winding down to? Like, what is this?
Well, you calm down because you have to realize what this is now, okay? It's very trendy, John.
What is it?
It's a gap year.
Oh, God.
It's a gap year. They tried. They're like, oh, maybe we'll go to university and we'll learn so many great things. And then they're like, I can work at a coffee shop instead and just keep doing the same shit I was doing in high school. And that's what they're going to do this year. I mean, it's Jalen Hurts right now because they've missed out on all the other quarterbacks, and we can get into the quarterback stuff. But right now it's Jalen Hurts and Gardner Minshew. You're going to have Devontae Smith as your number 1 wide receiver. You're not adding anybody that's better than him. So that's going to be the same. You don't have any heavy hitters on the back end of your secondary as much as everybody wanted them to get a safety, and they were in on Marcus Williams. They didn't get him. So, all right, Anthony Harris is here. Sorry we didn't get Marcus Williams. Here's Anthony Harris. It's a gap year. You just got to embrace it, okay? You just got to embrace that it's all youth. It's all figuring things out and then eventually taking that step. But this is not that year.
Well, is it a gap year or is this run it back? And they think they're good enough to just add around the edges here, get a little more help, and then just go heavy in the draft, because I would say it's more of that and less of like they know it's a gap year. They're not going to just sit on their hands here.
Well, they didn't want to.
And for free agency, they're not going to. So I mean, like, are you saying this is a gap year no matter how they build it, or their intention is they know this is a gap year and let's not go crazy?
Well, they know it's a gap year. I mean, what is the biggest power player that you could reasonably add to this team? Right now, in everybody's eyes, it's Devontae Parker. It's a gap year. Like, you're not getting any better. You're not adding anybody right now that's going to move the needle in any real way. The only guy that's available is DK Metcalf. Maybe. Potentially. And we have no idea if that's even true because he's, 24? I mean, how many teams just up and traded? Like, he's not that old. He's not due for his contract quite yet. And you can always franchise tag him. Like, they don't have to give up DK Metcalf. It's just we want them to, you know?
Well, there has been a little bit of an open swing, and I forgot who gave the report initially, but I mean, like, Seattle would listen. It's not to say that, like, obviously that they want to trade him or any of that, but they would listen. So I think that's pretty interesting in terms of, like, what just happened with Tyreek Hill with Miami, and we'll get into that in just a second. But with last thing on Barnett, to me, this to me feels like they do think they are good enough football team to take over the division if they have a decent draft, because all they got to do is basically, like, run the football again, right? And just, hope Jalen gets a little bit better, and go that route. The defense wasn't awful. It was fine. You're all hepped up on Hassan Riddick, giving us 10 sacks. So if that ends up happening and they end up drafting, like, Jordan Davis, or what I really think is this is setting up to jettison those 3 picks for something to move up. I suggested quarterback. Adam Schefter gave me a little cold water this week, but that could easily be Jordan Davis. That could easily be some. I still don't believe, after every beat writer and every talking head in America has basically said the Eagles are not using these 3 picks, then my assumption is they're trading up for somebody and bringing back Derek Barnett as depth, and they are going to run it back. And they're going to play in the margins a little bit.
Yeah.
They might go get Devontae Parker. But you don't think there's another big splash coming?
There's nothing left. I don't know what's left. It's got to be a total stunner. Because Tyreek Hill just suddenly popped up, and within 24 hours he was gone. It was just like, holy shit, wait, what just happened? But
it was very quiet.
No one's going to. So you don't even see it. So we'll know it when it happens, if it happens. But how many guys up and moved right now? Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper, Tyreek Hill. It was like Allen Robinson, Robert Woods got traded. There was all these big moves, guys left and right across the country, moving everywhere. Matt Ryan getting traded, everybody. And I just don't know if anybody's left. There's no big game changers left. So when that's the life that you're living, that's the team that you've got, you bring back the guys you've got. It's comfortable. It's easy. You get through the year. And when it comes to the defensive line of Derek Barnett, Barnett is not the guy that we wanted him to be. You draft him. You expect him to be a great edge rusher. Josh Sweat, you got him. Like, he later round pick. You didn't necessarily know he was going to do it, but he did it. So you've got that starting edge rusher guy on one side. You added Reddick on the other side. Your bookends, if you will, are good. Derek Barnett's your backup. That's not bad. Brandon Graham is a backup. That's not bad. You have Taron Jackson as a project. We'll see what happens. Maybe they draft another guy. Who knows? But defensive end in particular right now is okay, which is why, like Jordan Davis, I think his stock does go up a little bit right now. If you're thinking, is he going to be an Eagle? Yeah, it looks a lot more likely that he's going to, because Barnett is a 2-year deal and not a 1-year deal. So they're like, all right, let's shore that up. We'll keep him here. He stays in a backup role. He's probably going to cost nothing. That's fine. Let's go get a D tackle. Fletch is 1 year. You know what I mean? Like, that's where that's shaping up. And that's where it gets really interesting, is thinking about, because talking about positions and all this wide receiver stuff.
Yeah.
As much as I love the wide receivers, and it seems like everybody out there, you listening, you love the wide receivers. And I'm with you. Whether it's like Ramos loves George Pickens. I've been hearing him. It's like
the Discord.
He's like me with Marlon Mack out there. I respect it, but good for him. So he's got a guy that he loves. He's talking about him all the time. As much as we have all these players, everyone's desperate for Devontae Parker all of a sudden, instead of just drafting a guy in the first round. And also, the Eagles are in on Devontae Parker. They were in on Allen Robinson. So maybe Robert Woods.
on Robert Woods.
So Calvin Ridley. So they were in on all these different guys with the idea of getting somebody that's been in the league to be the complementary receiver to Devontae Smith. Now they're trying to get Parker. When you've got all these guys in the draft at 15, 16, 19, whatever it is, you could draft somebody there and everyone would be like, all right, this is interesting, unless it's Drake London. Sorry, Francisco. But you could draft somebody there. The Eagles don't seem intent on that when they're this in.
Yeah, I don't, because I wouldn't trust myself either if I was the Philadelphia Eagles. You're in the bottom section of Rager, Nelson Aguilar. I mean, they haven't hit down there in a long time. Yeah, I mean, they don't hit there. That's why I need somebody like Devontae Parker to come on in. And I think it also takes them likely out of taking an edge in round one, or they know, and I think Jimmy Kemsky pointed this out too, is David Ojobo and I didn't say that right. Ojabo,
I believe.
With his ACL probably takes one of the edges off of the board. So like that's probably why you do that too. But to me, with Parker, or like I wouldn't be desperate for Parker, but if it means like a fourth, a fifth, and you take on a pretty decent team-friendly contract, absolutely. I mean, it's about somewhere between 50 to 60 catches a year, a little more touchdowns than Zach Pascal, which is good. They're kind of the similar skill set. Obviously, Parker's a lot faster, is kind of turned into a little more of a deep threat, but he's just kind of plus Landry in that sense. Like, he can do a little more. He's not just quite a possession wide receiver, so I get it from that standpoint. But if you're telling me I've got options about, hey, we want to land somebody that's a veteran, I'm just going to throw this out there too. We've mentioned DK. We've seen what's happened to Tyreek Hill, and everybody's called Miami a big fat idiot. And to a point, I think they are. Yes, absolutely.
They are.
But I would do a Tyreek Hill deal for DK Metcalf tomorrow if they offered it to me. A first, a second, a fourth, a sixth, and a fourth and a sixth in 2023 for DK Metcalf, him, and the right to pay him. Absolutely. And if it only costs me $29 million as opposed to what it might cost from that wide receiver market's not going to pop either.
It already popped.
No, I'm saying like it's going to balloon up. Like it got reset again. So if you can get DK under this current market right now and not the next wave of contract when it's closer to 32 or 33 million, or if he has an incredible year with Drew fucking Lock, it's probably going to go to probably sniff somewhere like 35 or 38. Like, I would totally do this right now and have DK and Devontae there, have it matched up, give him 3 years. You have Devontae Smith to pay on the other end. If it doesn't work out and it's a complete failure, you pay the other guy. I would absolutely do this deal for DK Metcalf. Maybe knock off a fourth or a sixth, or just scrap this all together. That's too many picks to give out. Just give him 2 first. Here's 15 and 16. And let's rock and roll.
Man, I feel like I'm paying $20 for a Shake Shack burger. I just can't do it.
Why? You know what? You wouldn't do that deal?
I want listeners to go back 5 minutes to when John started this take and just replace Bitcoin with DK Metcalf and tell me if there's any difference.
I mean, I would absolutely call Seattle and see if they would even be enticed by a Tyreek deal for DK right now.
Oh, well, yes, if I was Seattle, holy shit, yes, I would take that deal in a heartbeat. No. Howie Roseman wants nothing to do with a deal like that. They weren't in on Tyreek Hill as they're reporting. I mean, I never saw their name.
They weren't, but I would do that for DK.
Yeah, I would not do that.
I would come very close to this.
I would do that if it was literal Donkey Kong DK, and I could have like a giant gorilla that I grew up with and was good friends with, and he could be like, he feels like my friend, and we could be on the team, and that would be pretty cool. But to think of it, no receiver's worth that. That's insane. This is completely insane. All of this is insane when it comes to the wide receiver market. It's broken. It's bad. It doesn't fit Howard Roseman in any way, shape, or form. It would never happen. I would never want to see it. Like, okay, Tyreek Hill. Pretty good receiver. He's pretty great, right? And he's been for his whole career. He's a great receiver. There's no doubt about it. He's in his prime. He wants to get paid. Good for him. $30 million is way more than what he's worth. I mean, like 2 years ago, Julio Jones was setting the market with $22 million a year.
Right.
We just jumped $8 million in market, right? Like DeAndre Hopkins went to 27.
That's slow.
Pretty
slow.
In
22.
In like 2 years, that's way too. It doesn't.
Is that only 2 years ago?
It's 2 or 3 years ago. That was not long ago.
It was even longer.
No, Julio getting $22 million a year, I think, was like 3 years ago, and then the last year, but it wasn't a long contract. And the last year that went to Tennessee. So I think that's how that all shook out. But it's not how the market moves. Like there are occasional times where there's a deal that changes the market entirely, right?
Yeah.
Like Zach Ertz was an interesting case, and we saw all that because the market was 10 for a tight end, $10 million a year, and then George Kittle gets a deal, and suddenly the market goes to 15. That's a 50% increase in the market. That's a monster contract. And then Travis Kelce is right there with it. So both those guys are $15 million a year, which is to say Travis Kelce and George Kittle are $15 million a year. Tyreek Hill is 30. He's $30 million a year. Plus, you're paying a first, a second, a fourth, 2 fourths, a sixth. Like, you're paying all that money. He doesn't block. Like, I would you rather have 2 Travis Kelce's and all those picks, or would you rather have Tyreek Hill? Like, I can't. For Tyreek, for Devontae Adams, for Jerry Rice in his prime. Like, I don't know. It's so much to give up for a wide receiver when there's so many receivers that can impact the game.
What's Derek Barnett actually worth?
Derek Barnett's worth like $3 million.
Not even close to this, right?
Oh, he doesn't. Nobody's.
What's Jalen Reagor worth?
Oh, Jager Rager.
What is Marcus Smith worth?
That's a good one.
So I'm just trying, like, when we're talking about the value of all these players, like, I get it. For Miami, it's probably the way we view Miami. It's like unbelievably stupid to do that. But the way we view the Eagles here, there is no playmaker here. I know Devontae Smith is a fantastic wide receiver, and full confidence he's probably heading towards the Hall of Fame. But
I love
But
that
I don't
guy.
know if he's like a guy that can take over the game. And that has scared me sometimes here, like just in his rookie season. Very productive. And yes, I'm sure Jalen Hurts had something to do with slowing him down or missing touchdowns or whatever.
No doubt.
No doubt about it. We're not really saying much of this offseason, but, that's a kid that can get banged up pretty quickly. So if you lose Devontae Smith, this team is in deep shit. Deep shit. Like there isn't like, oh, Dallas Goedert and the suddenly improved Quez Watkins is going to take this team over. I would do everything in my power to do a Tyreek deal with DK and just let's forget about this shit. Can we just go right into it? And if you want to trade 19 and kick it back to next year, fantastic. Get yourself some more picks. But I would do this because you can do this because you're on a rookie deal, one of the cheapest rookie deals for a quarterback this year. Plus, by the way, Gardner Minshew, who I also think with Barnett, with them going after Devontae Parker, with paying all the stuff that we said up front with Cox and Kelce and blah, 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 I don't think they're trading Gardner Minshew after all this. Tim McManus said an interesting article with Tannenbaum, former
Mike Tannenbaum,
GM of the Dolphins, and also good friends with Howie Roseman, and has called a lot of things correctly in that front office. And much like Adam Schefter, who threw some cold water on maybe selecting a quarterback in this draft, Tannenbaum's been pretty on a lot of different things and suggested that like Min should be worth about a third rounder, just based on what's out there now, the movement of quarterbacks that's happening. Baker Mayfield. I mean, like, it's kind of interesting that people might be more interested in paying a third rounder for Minshew instead of even getting into a Baker Mayfield discussion for a trade. Seattle would be kind of open to it, I think he suggested in that sense. The Colts probably needs a backup to Matt Ryan. Oh, no, they don't. We were talking about that earlier. That's my bad. That's whatever.
Well, they could, maybe.
But I would think they're probably, and as they've valued 2 quarterbacks all the time, hey, 2 QB system, don't let it hurt you. I would not trade Gardner Minshew because if your idea is to load it back up and run it back, it seems a little Al Horford-ish to me. But you can't trade Minshew now. If this is kind of where I think they're going, and we're going to let the draft take care of itself. We're going to have a couple of fireworks here and there in the draft, and we're just going to see how this thing goes.
Well, until you draft somebody, you have to keep Minshew. You do. You got to keep Gardner Minshew around, and given the way that everything's tracked, he has a real shot at the job. If I'm Gardner Minshew, I don't want to leave, right? I'm sitting here, and I'm going, look, everywhere else I go, pretty much, it's either it's a new situation, new playbook, new teammates, all that stuff. I can stay here in the same system with all these guys, great offensive line, all the selling points that we had of why this team is valuable. And I can compete against Jalen Hurts because everything's telling you, yeah, they're going to compete. Like, it's going to be a real competition this year if Minshew is here. It just has to be because Hurts hasn't earned anything. And the problem is, too, because now we've had a long discussion over all this time going from when Jalen Hurts started playing as the starter to now where it's, okay, next year, well, you just got to get him some weapons and he's going to get that other year and he's going to get better. You haven't added weapons. You didn't do that. It didn't happen. So how much better does he get when he doesn't have the weapons improve? You know, like that's a real thing to monitor here for a guy that they've looked at, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, which I get, obviously, and advocated for, but like Matt Ryan, again, like they don't love Jalen Hurts. I say this all the time. Yeah. People don't want to believe it. They do not love Jalen Hurts. They've never loved Jalen Hurts. They've always thought he was interesting and they liked him and they've kept him around. So you give him a fair shot, fine. But now it's going to be open for Minshew. He's got a shot. And unless you draft a guy like a younger version of Minshew with more upside and a Matt Corral, who I like as my new train. I
think you and the Indianapolis Colts love that train.
There we go. I'm a Colt through and through. I would love to get wrecked in front of a plane and yell things at Twitter like Jim Irsay. Okay, that's my new dream. I'm just gonna get trashed on whatever.
We're gonna fix this.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna apologize for whatever I said on the podcast. I'm sorry, folks. The Russell Wilson stuff was too much. I've said too much about Marlon Mack.
Where's the taco meat? We've got some work to do.
Yeah,
that feels so long ago,
doesn't it? Just feels like ages ago.
Oh, my God.
Just like, you're pining for Russell Wilson and things just crumble in front of you. And now you're dealing with a Derek Barnett 2-year contract. And
Derek Barnett's our Chuck Pagano.
Of course. It's just put him up in the – well, and speaking of that, too, that's what I think is so hilarious about all this stuff. It's just Adam Schefter on The Fanatic comes out and says – they were never really dancing with Deshaun Watson. I was like, yeah, okay, there's nothing to dance to. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Fine, for whatever reason you want to go into. Sure. And also, they are, as he sees it, not interested in trading for a quarterback in the draft or doing anything there. Then can I ask a question in that regard where you were going exactly?
Sure.
Why are you taking Kenny Pickett out to dinner?
Yeah.
If you're not interested in a quarterback, why do you got 4 scouts at Desmond Ritter's pro day? If you're not interested in a quarterback, why are you trying to trade for Russell Wilson? You're like
Matt Ryan again. Matt Ryan.
May I be the first to say possibly Matt Ryan? We don't really know, but possibly, and maybe the first one to say Adam Schefter, as has been told by Washington leaked emails, is full of shit. Full of shit in the middle of lying season. So why would I believe Adam Schefter? I'm sorry, Raj. I know you're a big listener to the pod. We're going back and forth on Twitter. Feel free to Bell the Bird anytime, by the way. And he's just saying, like, yeah, this is not happening. This is lying season. There's too many things happening, and they're either about to give away a lot of picks to go do something or something's changing. Like, they're not going to. Howie Roseman said you've got to pick a road. This is cruising down in the right lane at 45 miles an hour. Something doesn't add up. Can we at least agree on that?
Yeah.
Like, something doesn't add up, and they're looking at quarterbacks, and they're taking them out to dinner, and Adam Schefter's telling me that that's not true.
Yeah.
Where did they go to the dinner, by the way?
Probably like Moe's or the equivalent of that.
Moe's Southwest Grill?
Is there even one of those in Philadelphia? I don't think so.
I think they're around. That's so
Where
funny.
was? Well, I don't know. Where's Kenny Pickett? His pro day was in Pittsburgh, right? I'm sure they got a Moe's around.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Baja Fresh.
Yeah, Baja Fresh.
Don't worry, Kenny.
Those.
Get yourself the guac. Go spoil yourself. Yeah, go in there, fella. Yeah,
but like you don't have. This isn't due diligence.
No, it's clearly keeping your options
sure you're not
open.
making a mistake, right? This is like.
It's the hedge stuff. Again, if somebody falls, I really believe it. If somebody falls, because they know Jalen Hurts is not great. He was a questionable talent. They liked him. They drafted him in the 2nd round. It was a hedge. They're going to do the same thing this year. If you're looking at a quarterback class like this and nobody's blowing anybody away and these guys could fall and whatever, I mean, unless they just secretly adore Malik Willis and we have no idea, they're going to see who falls because they're not great prospects. They're not elite prospects. So why go trade up and make a major investment in the guy if you don't really believe in it. When like all these other things that people say, hey, trade back and add a pick next year and whatever, and you can open yourself up again for those big swings. So it doesn't sound like Howie to go in now on a bad quarterback class, because otherwise he's not as in on every other quarterback, because it's a good quarterback class and there's somebody there with all those picks. You know, it just like it just doesn't work. So, and by the way, I think this is a really important point. If they love Jalen Hurts, why is Kenny Pitt like it's? Could you imagine if they did that to Carson Wentz with Jalen Hurts? Could you imagine how we would handle that in this city if Carson Wentz? It's 2018 or 2019, and suddenly, oh my God, they're out to dinner with Jalen Hurts. We'd freak the fuck out.
Who else went in that draft too?
Crap.
Look that up for us, Taylor, real quick.
What year was it?
2019. 2020 draft.
Yeah, it was the 2020
QBs
draft.
in the 2020 draft. Like if there was whoever was the equivalent of like, oh yeah, they took Kenny Pickett out to dinner. They took Jalen.
Tua.
They took. Tua would be a part of that.
Right. Burrow, Tua.
yeah.
Herbert.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, that would be like if they were having dinner with Herbert and Hurts and. Jordan Love. There you go.
Vince's favorite.
Jake Fromm.
Hey, don't
hanging out.
Joe Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Love.
Yeah, Jacob Eason, if you would have heard of that.
Jalen.
Hurts, Fromm.
And some other guys.
Anthony Gordon. I don't even remember him. That's so funny. But
Bryce Perkins.
I don't know. I think that's
if they were out to dinner, it'd be pitchforks.
More than likely, it feels like they're not going to. But you got to be kidding me if they're just. It feels like Adam Schefter was trying to help out Howie Roseman there. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's junk. It's junk. Everything for 2 years has told you they like Jalen Hurts, they don't love him.
Yep.
But people love him, and that's the complicated thing on it.
And I love him. Through all this, I still love. Through this entire offseason, I feel like the entire city of Philadelphia has tried to make me break up with Jalen Hurts, and I refuse to do it. I really do. I don't know what the Eagles are doing, because none of this has really like helped him.
No.
If it's your guy, you're not really doing too much to be like, all right, we know what you are at this point in time in your career, and guess what? Still on you.
Yeah,
that's basically what they're saying.
Hey,
right?
no, Zach Pascal, man. I mean,
yeah, going to change the world.
He can block.
All right, reckless speculation.
I love this.
Yes.
Howie brought Schefter out to Baja Fresh, and they discussed all this.
You can have the story, but if you tell him that I ordered the fucking cinnamon twists, it's over, Schefter. Finally,
not allowed to have churros anymore.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if they call them churros there. Hey, exactly. Well, I'm. If anybody has any kind words, 215-509-5833. If anyone doesn't have any kind words, 215-509-5833.
I have some unkind words.
I love unkind words.
Swoop sucks. Can I just get this out of the way real quick? Swoop is garbage. Swoop is a terrible mascot.
Good night, everybody.
And our ability
What's wrong with you?
to decide, no, this is it's important to me, okay? I have high expectations for mascots. Swoop is trash. He doesn't do shit. Swoop is he is an establishment fucking trust fund baby. He just shows up and everyone's like, oh, the world, let's lay the world out at Swoop's feet. Oh, this beautiful bird of a mascot. Swoop stinks. He doesn't do anything. He's not entertaining. He's got no personality. All right, it's just Swoop stinks.
Does Swoop have a what's the deal, man? Like when I don't ever remember anybody kissing Swoop's feet. Any of that shit you just described.
That's exactly my point. Swoop stinks. You got to do better.
You might be right, because I'm not really having any immediate thoughts when you mentioned Swoop.
Here's the thing.
Such a missed opportunity.
I might have misspoke, because if Swoop goes away, I don't think I care either.
You wouldn't notice.
No one would not notice.
Sorry, Ryan Mascot. Yeah, I knew one of the guys that was the Swoop, for a very long time when Andy Reid was there. Out. So I feel bad for saying that, but at the same time,
look around.
Well, wait, has Swoop always been here?
No,
I don't know how long Swoop's been around. I have no idea.
I'm gonna guess he was a Jeffrey Lurie implementation.
Okay,
that's my guess.
Yeah,
someone's yelling at me right now, who's saying, "You idiot! He's been here since 1971 or something like that." But
he's just been standing in the corner since 1971.
I mean, everybody loves Swoop though when they come by.
Because of what Swoop is. He's a mascot. People love mascots, but is he a great mascot? Like I got into an argument because this is my cousin Kyle's fault. So,
oh yeah, way to go, Kyle.
Yeah, great job, Kyle.
You big dumb idiot.
Kyle put out this question. He's like, if you could ask the Eagles one question and to answer it truthfully, what would it be? And this is like obviously a very powerful moment here. And I just went, you couldn't find anything better than Swoop. Like that was the one.
What else would you suggest for a non-Eagles mascot for the Philadelphia Eagles?
It doesn't have to be. It can be an eagle. I don't have a problem that it's an eagle. I have a problem that it's an eagle with no personality.
No shit. He was actually part of Ace Ventura. That was the first time Swoop was really there, and they just kept him after that. Oh shit! I know why. Because Laurie was a producer on that movie. True or I think true or untrue.
So wait, no. Go back to the Wikipedia page and please highlight.
It didn't have a date of his debut on there.
All right, so let me read
94.
Let me read what Taylor's highlighted. Swoop also made a cameo appearance in the 1994 comedy film Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, where Ventura beats the mascot after the latter shoot away an albino pigeon. So, yeah, our mascot, Swoop, is known for getting his ass kicked in Ace Ventura, and we paraded him around?
In the Super Bowl, too.
So the Eagles made the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they played the Dolphins, the Dan Marino Dolphins.
Since I was like 10.
Well, I don't remember this Swoop. This looks like a Andy era Swoop.
Yeah, this is...
Because no one's seen him since. No one knows.
What would you replace Swoop with?
Its personality is all I want. I don't care if it's an eagle or an eaglet or a nest or an egg. It could be an egg walking around. If the egg is funny and does something, I'm
Swoop
in.
has personality.
Does he?
He's a badass eagle that doesn't take any shit. That's really nice to kids.
Come on.
I don't know. What does the fanatic do?
What doesn't the fanatic? How dare you say that?
You can't say that, John.
How dare you?
I'm saying, what does it do? What would make the Swoop more fanatic like?
You know what? I just found out. I found out what it is. Give him a gigantic belly, and then he circles it around just like the fanatic and just like Gritty.
Everybody's idea is just do the fanatic. The Flyers fucking gave up and just said, just do the fanatic, but orange. Okay.
No, he's not the fanatic.
Oh, bullshit. You're going to throw out Swoop and have the balls to say that Gritty is not fanatic orange.
No. He's
just new age Gen Z mascot. That's all it is.
No, he's so different.
How is Gritty any different than the fanatic?
Because he's a troll. He's
fat.
Okay.
Dances like this.
Yes.
Makes everybody smile. You look at both of them and you go, what the fuck is that? And then you go, oh, I love it.
One is
the
pure,
same thing.
No, but it's different because one is pure positivity. The fanatic is very well.
Fanatic's a troll. Fanatic is a troll.
They're both trolls.
The fanatic does troll, but he's also got more of like a charming, goofy, whatever. Where Gritty is pure negativity.
A cynic. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Gritty thing actually works.
Great. Make him an orange fucking Muppet. Have him have the personality of the old guys yelling stuff from the Muppets down, and then throw that in with Fozzie Bear and the fanatic, and you have Gritty.
I like Fozzie Bear, but when you're talking, like, I've seen Gritty get a T-shirt cannon and shoot a person on the ice. You know, like just a person. He just shot a motherfucker on the ice. Like, that's amazing. No mascot does that.
Swoop is there to do high fives and play in the real sport of football. The others you mentioned,
play the real
the
sport
fanatic
of football
is just a distraction because what's on the field is garbage, and I would rather watch the fanatic hex a pitcher than actually watch a pitcher pitch baseball at a live ballpark.
Well, you're true. That's totally on point. The fanatic makes
Flyers,
it way better.
Ever since Gritty was invented, have sucked and kept on sucking, so they know exactly how you distract. Hey, don't look at beyond the curtain. Danny Briere's the new general manager. Just don't really say that out loud. That's my problem. Swoop comes in, handles his shit, in and out. That's it. Take it back.
No,
I'm flipped like 3 times now.
All right,
Swoop is legitimate, and he's an icon of Philadelphia.
He just exists.
If Swoop gained 50 pounds and became cynical, I would like him a lot more.
We need Swoop to go through a midlife crisis.
Swoop just needs to become Bryce Harper, and he would be the best mascot.
He's a literal bald eagle, as in like you can see the skin on the top of his dome.
Now I'm just picturing Homer Simpson as Swoop. That's
basically.
pretty much it.
And he's got like a Yingling. Yeah, Yingling's a beer sponsor for them, right?
Miller Lite,
Miller,
Bud, yeah,
one of those two.
Somehow.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's one of those. The jersey's a little tight. It's a little tight.
Oh, it's very tight.
The numbers are faded because it's been through the wash a lot. You
Yeah.
know, it's an old jersey. Like, yeah, Swoop.
Cheese whiz stain on the front.
See, if we got like depressed Swoop, middle-aged Swoop, that would be hilarious, and I'm in. I need a character. He just waves and he's like, yeah, like he flexes, and that's pretty much all he does.
What do you want a football player mascot to do?
Cynical.
Name any football mascot in the NFL that's entertaining. Thank you.
Well, then they
It
need
was
to
the
step
San Diego
the game
Chicken,
up.
and that was a long time
Well,
ago.
that was pretty cool.
The Chiefs mascot that bangs his head against the
the rat or whatever the hell it is.
Oh yeah,
which
it's like the Chuck E. Cheese basically. If Chuck E. Cheese is their mascot, I love that.
don't know how that relates to Kansas City or the team at all.
Doesn't
but
matter. It's personality. You know
Who
what he
else?
is? He's got like the checkered pants.
He
and all
bangs
that.
his head against the goalpost whenever a field goal goes in.
Oh man, think.
Yeah, that works.
Oh yay, field goal.
See, like the Denver Nuggets, for example, they've got Rocky. Rocky drops from the ceiling. He does all these crazy dunks. Like
you got
Rocky's awesome.
Billy Buffalo, who looks like a plush toy. Who the hell is Sourdough Sam? Is the 49ers mascot? That's his name? Pat Patriot?
Sourdough Sam is the
Captain Fear, Staley Da Bear. Yeah, like all of these are just
okay.
versions of Swoop.
Well, then that explains it. The bar for NFL mascots is horseshit.
Wait, Poe for the Ravens is pretty hilarious.
Okay,
for Edgar Allan.
That's nice. That's a nice. Who oddly enough looks like the Swoop version of a Raven.
Rowdy's
the
a
Raven
little
version of a Swoop.
Rowdy's a little creepy for Dallas. He's Sir Saint is, oh my God, he looks like he was drawn in the 1920s. So he's got some history to him. Look at that chin.
Sir Saint has a big ass chin. What's the story behind that? It looks like two gigantic grapefruit newts.
And that's why they have another mascot apparently named Gumbo. That's why they got it. They're like, all right, this thing's fucking ugly. Let's get a dog.
Big Red down at the Cardinals. This is ridiculous. Yeah, football mascots stink. And out of the stinkiness, the Eagles have a pretty damn good mascot.
Because he's the most bland. He's
Casey Wolf? Wait, that rat fucking thing is supposed to be a wolf?
What?
In Kansas City?
It's got Zumbas on.
Unbelievable.
The pants are great. I mean, really, the pants are
Pants
phenomenal.
are all right. I get it. If that I would love that.
Kansas City has a good one.
Yes, I take that back. There's one good NFL mascot, and it's Casey Wolf.
I think Blue's pretty good, the Colts one.
I feel like I see clips of him from time to time. Oh, you know what? Blue did the milk crate challenge.
Oh, that's right.
Which I was blown away by. I mean, can you imagine being a human in a giant, like, horse suit, and you've got to do the milk crate challenge with those giant feet?
You guys are flipping me once again. Actually, Swoop is just kind of okay.
He just doesn't
exists.
screw up. That's all it is. He's not Mr. Met. You know, like Mr. Met always fucks up, and he flipped a kid off once, and like Mr. Met makes mistakes. You know, you can't have your mascot get the organization in trouble, but you gotta have. I need the content. You know what I mean? Like I need some pizzazz out of Swoop.
What do you
It is
need?
a challenge to the
so
Swoop.
Fat Swoop is what we're asking for.
I need him to look indifferent.
Love this.
Swoop strictly bets on the Eagles.
All right, while we're giving takes, then real quick, here's my last one, then we'll wrap it up, and we've got plenty more to discuss on Sunday into Monday, and big announcements and all that fun stuff. Mail re-signed his extension for 3 years, which I think is fantastic. But no one's talking about this right now. And Mark Zumoff does not have a job. Please, God, Eagles, for the love of Pete, go call that man and just give him the Mike Tirico job for whatever that is for the Philadelphia Media Company, and then have him pick up the fucking flame after Merrill retires, because he is firing on all cylinders, and God, do I miss his voice. I didn't realize how much I miss his voice. No disrespect to Kate Scott, who I think is doing a fantastic job, but I mean, it's Mark fucking Zumoff. It's an icon of Philadelphia. I love listening to him. I'm disappointed I don't get to hear him. Please make him the heir and make him the next Philadelphia Eagles play-by-play guy once Merrill hangs it up.
It's the perfect move. It's the perfect, because what's always the hardest job, right? It's being the guy that replaces the guy. It's Mark fucking Zumoff.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to have a problem with that. He's going to knock it out of the park. And seeing what his Zumoffisms are for football, you know what I mean? Like, that personality on a football field would be a really fun and fresh thing for him, too. So it's a great fit, and everybody respects that guy.
Hurts. Yeah, who can do I cannot do a zoom off impression at all. Can anybody in this city?
No.
A good zoom off?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've probably heard Conklin do a zoom off a couple of times,
Yes.
but because we did like 100
Goes
bits.
up, Hurts, throws. Yes! That's that. Yeah. Put it in the peach bucket. I don't know. That's a terrible zoom off. I'm so sorry. But you understand what I'm trying to go for. I can hear it. Please sign Mark Zumoff too, the futures contract or whatever you have to do. So I'm so sorry that we have to live through Derek Barnett for another 2 years.
And Swoop.
I'm not.
And Taylor is so fired up, and we are very fired up to talk to you on the next podcast because it's not just studio time, it's new sponsor time, it's a bunch of different things, and we can't wait to tell you all this very exciting news. Thank you so much to all the support on the text line, but especially in the Discord. It's been outstanding. Join us there. We love chopping it up, and we love talking down to Barney, who brings up really ridiculous things in there all the time. So for Taylor Cordatis, of course, Vince Quinn, I'm John Barter. This is Bell the Birdmen. We'll see you on Monday, hopefully with some free agent news. Okay, bye!